This is not a typical cat video. If you're squeamish or skittish or don't want to be upset, get out now. Howdy, the Fritz423 here. This is Marky Mark. We call him that because he was the lone survivor. The rest of his litter got eaten by coyotes. I'm not a cat person, but you know what? After a while, Marky Mark started to grow on me. Not long ago, I saw buzzards gathering in one of the pastures. It's never a good sign. Something's dead. I figured it was one of my cows. Anybody who raises livestock is going to make this drive sooner or later. You go out in the pasture to see which one of your animals is down. Well, I brought the camera along. I figured, hey, I'll make a video about the less glamorous side of raising cattle. Yep, that's Marky Mark. That's my daughter's cat. Doggone it. Well, that night I broke out the thermal scope, and sure enough, here comes two coyotes to finish their meal. We've been seeing a lot of coyotes around, and they were coming right up to the fence during the daytime. My wife had to shoo off a coyote at least on 2 separate occasions in the last couple of weeks, and we were concerned something like this was going to happen. People who don't live out in the country are going to say, well, how do you know the coyotes killed your cat? It could have been a lightning strike. Well, if you live out here, you actually see it. Coyotes are predators, and they eat small animals. My only regret is that I didn't do this earlier. My neighbors understand. They pitched in to help out. They're coming. We weren't able to call up any coyotes during the day, probably because they become educated. Everybody around here has the same problem we do. Sooner or later they try calling up some coyotes to thin out the population, and the coyotes just get wise. So here we're sighting in a 308 on an 8-foot platform with a thermal scope. We're going to hunt at night without calls. Right around that time we had a cold front come through. It was 30 degrees during the day and 20 at night for about a week, and I know all you Yankees are laughing at us, but the reality is that's pretty cold for this part of Texas.
Hell, she might pull a tractor over, I don't know.
And right in the middle of this cold snap, we discovered one of my cows had gotten stuck in the mud next to a pond. And she could have been there for up to 24 hours, I don't know. She was pretty far gone by the time we found her. The temperature right here was 20 degrees. We were able to pull her out, but she was too far gone. By the morning, she was dead. They say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Well, when life gave us a dead cow, we made coyote bait. We've used this technique before, usually with feral hogs, and it's pretty effective in the wintertime. So I'm dragging this away from the house now, and we're going to set up on this at night with a thermal scope, and hopefully some coyotes will come in. Just be sure to put it upwind of the house. That thing's glowing in the thermal scope here because it's getting mighty ripe. That's a bunny rabbit in the garden. You're going to have to take my word for it. That's a coyote. Actually, you don't. Sorry about the annoying scratching sound. The rifle's resting on a fence post. This is right behind the house. This is a different night.
There's two of them. Alright, I'm going to take a shot.
One down.
We thinned out their population a little bit before we were done. Don't bring the cat back, of course.
Okay. Cat killing motherfucker.
Bleep.
Seen its last days.
Goodbye, Marky Mark. Good kitty.